People's Democratic Party, PDP, has made its decision after a series of meetings yesterday on plans ahead of the primary elections in respect of the general elections 2023. The party says it will set up zoning committees and has announced sale of funds. Some of the details of that we will show you on the program tonight. How much form for each position will look like? Costs about 45 million, for example, to obtain a nomination form from the president, and it goes all down and down like that. You see, we'll show you in a while. But the party has decided that it will set up a zoning committee, and also that it will also give some concession to youth and women in the party in the area of the purchase of form. But let's look at some of the issues that have been thrown up in the midst of all of this. I'm being joined tonight by a member of the PDP BOT, Senator Abdul Ningi, a former federal lawmaker. And here also is a member of the People's Democratic Party, Mr. Kasim Afegbua. He's a former commissioner for information in Edo State. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming.
Thank you very much.
I'd like to show you the cost of that form. And the thing you were at that meeting, and I wanted to know who was on the mind of the leaders of the party when you came up with the cost of the form. For example, it will cost about 5 million for the purchase of expression of interest form for the president, and 40 million naira for nomination form for the president. 45 million naira.
No, 35 million.
35.
No, there's 45 million. 35. Okay, making 40 million.
Yes.
40 million in total. That's it. Yeah, right there on your screen. And for governorship, 1 million for interest form, 20 million for the nomination form, and it goes on like that. Why is it that expensive?
Is it expensive?
It is not.
Under the circumstance?
I thought under the circumstance.
Under the circumstance.
The economic circumstance.
You know we're an opposition party. You know we're not in government. You know we're trying to make sure the very best of us actually run for this election. It is not just a matter of just picking palm and just be part of the congregation. We want to make sure serious-minded people who are actually ready for this job are presented to the party person before Nigerians. And I do not think for a presidential person that needs to have 35 million as for the form and 5 million as an expression form, for you to say that amount of money is too much. And when you say that amount of money, how much is 40 million in a dollar? Per dollar. We are just talking about $20,000.
We are not talking we are in Nigeria.
Just as an example.
Naira is the denomination for purchase of commodities.
Yeah, let me just tell you the logic of the Naira and the dollar. Everything that we are going to have is actually imported, whether in terms of microphone, whether in terms of vehicles. And you know, we are 36 states in the Federation and Abuja. And if you don't have the capacity, how then does a political party try to raise your ability?
So, Senator, let's get some things clear.
Yeah.
Is the PDP trying to get money from the purchase of form? Is this your source of income or source of generation of funds for the election?
PDP are trying to get the right people at the right time for the right positions. And if you're not ready, there is an adequate time between 2019 when we failed an election to date. Most people that you see picking forms are people who have been saving and been preparing for this assignment. If you cannot do away with 20 million after waiting for 4 years, what measures do you have to run for a governorship? Some people are not buying these forms themselves.
So money really is the name of the game?
Money matters everywhere in politics. Money is fundamental.
So for those who don't have that amount of money, but they have quality and capacity, I mean, this is a deterrence for them, isn't it?
It's never a deterrence. It's never a deterrence. Those people who believe in them, if you have the capacity, you have the ability, showcase it to people, and people who actually identify you as being able and capable. They'll come handy, they'll come and assist you. I have seen in the past.
The party is an expensive party, is it?
I have seen, like my first election, I didn't buy my form.
How did you get it?
My friends contributed money, 500,000 then, in 1999. And that was a big money then. They contributed 500,000 and gave it to me.
All right. Senator, let me come to the Prince of Okwila. I mean, do you agree with Senator? 40 million at this time in Nigeria is not too much to purchase forms?
Sean, just excuse me to report that we got a verdict today in the Federal High Court under Justice Taiwo concerning the kind of political impasse in Edo State with respect to the issue of structure. The judge had ruled that those who were validly elected, in the Congress that was held in March 2020, remain so until the expiration of their 4-year tenure in 2024. So that also suggests that all the altercations of harmonizations, integration, what have you, has been laid to rest. And
by the court?
By the court.
Which can be appealed?
Well, there was no defense.
No, so it could be appealed. The window is still that the judgment was given today.
Okay, no problem, but I've just told you, but at least for now, that is the status quo. And
as an interested party. As an interested party.
Yes, so that we can rest that. Concerning the form issue, you see, unfortunately, our democracy and our politics is heavily monetized. Unfortunately. And it's one of those things we have been canvassing for quite some time. But for anyone who wants to run for, to preside over the country, 40 million for me is not bogus.
It's not too much.
That's the truth. It's not bogus. If you want to run for the president of the country, to preside over 200 and something million people, to purchase the form, of course, the party has a role to play in the process of throwing you up. The party is going to organize primaries. It's going to organize congresses and other activities, to make that, to fulfill all the requirements in the Electoral Act and by extension the Constitution. So I don't see that as something bogus.
Let me come to the issue of, because it seems you're on the same page. Maybe for poor people like us, we think that 40 million...
Just like what he said.
It's a lot of money.
Just like what he said.
Just to purchase a form.
It's not about being poor. It's about the fact that, just like what he said, if you are running for the position and you have the credentials and you meet up with it, your friends will rally around to purchase the form for you. It's a requirement that at least this is what the party wants. Part and parcel of the guidelines and regulations of the party.
So it's just simple. You don't have the money, stay away from politics. Because that's what it means. Money is dictating the tune.
See, before you eventually go to convention, you are going to have 5 different congresses. Who is going to give the money? 5 different congresses in 36 in Abuja.
Doesn't your party get membership contributions?
They
do. How much is that?
Your party claim that you have a large followership. And if, for example, if you have 30 million members in your party who are paying party membership contribution, and if you have 1,000 per year, 1,000 times 30 million is a lot of money to do anything.
If you ask me, in the face of debilitating suffering, poverty, hunger, and deprivation that the APC has plunged the country, if I have the resources, I would rather pay for members in terms of their dues than even taxing them to contribute.
That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about the membership dues.
That's what I'm saying. I said the membership dues.
If every member pays 1,000 times 30 million or 20 million.
I would rather take from the rich to please the poor masses with the kind of situation we are in this country. I don't know if you know the enormity of the suffering in the land, and consistently, the masses are becoming tired hearing the same rhetoric from politicians. So even for us to extract their commitment goes a long way in trying to persuade them, talk to them, and let them buy into your program. So for me, if the rich wants to play the politics and they want to spend the money for the masses, I will support that kind of an arrangement.
Senator,
in addition, just not to cut him, just in addition to what he said, what are you giving people to make sure that money that they are making a living out, that is eke out to run party activities, what have you returned gave out to the people? You remember, we have just 13 states out of 36. So we have 20 3 states to administer. Even if the followership is 50 million, it's not every follower that pays his dues. I think as an opposition party, we are doing wonderfully well in making sure that we remain afloat in spite of losing power at the center and the states.
All right, I will stay away from. I was perhaps a bit emotional, maybe because I was speaking with, on behalf of some people who really want to contest, but they don't have that money. And I'm imagining if I actually have any intention to run for office, I'm not sure I have that kind of money to run for to buy funds. But let's stay away from that because it looks like you, the political elite, have made up your mind to chase away those without money.
This purchase is not for everybody. Women are exempted. Women are exempted.
Okay, and the youths are also 50%.
That's a good level. That's a good level. But Senator,
yeah.
Let's go to a very important one. We're hearing, and I don't know how true this is, that it does look like very, very top. There are some strong members of the party that have made up their minds that the ticket of the party is going to the north. Is that true? Confirm to us.
That is news to me. You know, I'm a member of BOT and being a member of NEC. And we participated in a joint meeting of NEC and BOT after the caucus. And it was resolved in our agenda that a 37-man committee, one from each state, to serve as a zonal committee. So does that mean that zonal committee is already pronounced? The decision of the zonal committee is, the committee is not even set up. It's just to be set up. But it's given 2 weeks to come up with the way out. And what is the way out? Where do we zone this presidency? How do we zone this presidency? Why do we zone this presidency? That is one. If a president emerges, like from Southeast, where do we take the vice president from? If he emerges from Northeast, where do you take the president from?
Who is chairing this zoning committee?
It is amongst the 37 members. So that in order to elude any idea of somebody is using somebody.
So there is a member from each state and the FCT.
And the FCT, 37.
That seems fair, isn't it?
37.
Kazim, isn't fair, isn't it?
Well, I'm not a member of NEC.
But I'm saying that if that's a decision.
Wait, you see, they took a decision. And I think I wouldn't want the party to be clever by half. I like to be very practical in all my emanations. I don't like people to beggar the issue. The point is, if you look at the algorithms, with 37 states, 19 from the north, 17 from the south, if they were to vote, what happens? The party PDP must, I'm using that word, must respect justice, fairness, and equity in its politics of 2023. Having gotten a candidate in 2019 from the north when no southerner participated, it is only natural they cede that position to the south. When you get to the south, you can choose whether it's southeast, or south, or southwest. You see, the point is, when you are running away from the truth, you are also not helping those who are your followers. I like parties and leaders who speak to the real facts on the ground.
So you don't think that they need to set up any committee? They should have decided that NEC and BOT straight away that he was going to the south.
Of course, it's natural. The party has it in the constitution. Article 7 is there. Who had the chairman last time? South had the chairman. Who had the presidential candidate? North. This time, who had the chairman? North. Who should get the presidential candidate? South.
When you
assemble 37
you start at NEC and you start at BOT.
You see, unlike Kazim, I'm a chieftain of this party, a member of the BOT. I'm a member of NEC and former National Grand Secretary. I won't come to the national platform and be speaking the way he's speaking. Because yesterday's meeting had all the former governors, all the sitting governors, all the sitting senators.
But do you see sense in what Kasim
I don't see any sense in it. It's not proclosing.
For example, as a former member of the National Assembly, number is very critical.
It is critical.
So if you measure 19 members out of the 37, in fact, it's not 19 now, it's going to be 20 because the FCT now sits on making 37. So it's 20 members from the north and 17 from the south. If they're going to put it to vote,
interest you to know. Recall back when we set up the zonal committee. Recall back. And then find out the story. How many members voted for the chairman to come to the north and not to come to the south? It's a party matter. You can vote both ways. And that is what we are trying to run away from. That is why the party in its own wisdom. Otherwise, it would have been foreclosed. I was here in a program, and you remember, there was this issue of party chairmanship coming to the north, and then allowing every other party, every other part of the country to run. That was in the minute. That was adopted. That was agreed. But typical of the party that we are, that listens, that negotiates, that wants peace. So, okay, if there are issues, it is not a straightforward matter. Yesterday, it wasn't just a straightforward matter.
How tough was that decision?
It was, you know, we don't fight. We are not APC.
No, but there was a very huge argument.
Huge argument. I was also part of those who said already the party has taken a position. Open it up. But when superior argument is presented, get seven members of our eligible members, let them go and discuss and come back to the neck.
But you see
the funny part of the story. When you begin to say every northerner must vote a northerner, every southerner must vote. No. That is not the history.
How do you react to what
that is not the history. No, that is not the history of our party.
You see, it's not about
from the onset.
Senator,
but that is not fair.
As someone who has been a chieftain of the party for a long time, the question is that look. Just a moment, Kasim. The history of your party. Your party was the one who entrenched the concept of zoning and rotation in this country. So the question is, why is it difficult now for your party?
Let me just give you the background. Let me give you the background. From the onset, before the attempting of zoning, it wasn't just started on day one. When the party was being formed, one of the reasons why the founders of the party decided to take the position, they didn't take the position to the south, as a south. To Obasanjo, they took that position to the southwest. To do what? To appease the southwest.
Because of the MKO.
Because of the MKO. That is a historical fact.
So what would you be considering now?
Wait.
No, because we don't have the time. What would you be considering now?
We are considering discussing the facts, the figures, and the timelines.
Okay.
We have spent 16 years.
Let's wrap up quickly now. And I know you were shaking your head. You were not quite agreeing with what Senator Ninge. What was your opposition to the position? This is a position of neck, a position of duty.
You see, listen, I don't want to, my brain cannot approximate the entire brain of those who sat at the neck and BOT to take a decision about the issue of zoning. But I have a right as a party member to interrogate. You see, the moment you are telling people you cannot interrogate realities or outcomes of meeting and all that, you make it to be stereotyped. I like to interrogate. I've raised the point. I know Ningi's sentiments. The situation suits him. We don't need to say it. I know his sentiment. I know the person he's supporting. I know the person he's supporting for presidency and all of that. And
who does Senator Ningi support?
Leave that to her. You have the same pictures all over the place. So leave that to her.
I support a candidate.
Yes, of course. And he has a right to do that.
Yeah, he has a right to do that.
Who are you supporting, Senator Ningi?
I'm supporting Atiku.
So you can understand this is suitable for them.
Like Kasim.
You see, this is suitable for them.
Look at my
pedigree. Who are you supporting, Kasim?
I don't have anybody, but it's a southerner.
Really?
Yes.
See, for now. You supported Tambuwa the last time?
Yes, in northerner in 2019. Because all the aspirants were northern. For now, I don't have a candidate yet.
So you're supporting any
southern person because it is the turn of the south.
We have the likes of Peter Obi.
Anyim is there, Sam Hambuwa, and others who will come out. If he comes out.
So who of them are you supporting?
See, before I make
Senator Ningi has come out.
That is him because they are in a hurry. I will take a decision an informed decision based on my reading of the aspirants. You see, I don't want people to come and speak, trying to be clever by half in presenting scenarios. When you know where your mind is, and you want to walk from question to answer, or answer to question. The point is, setting up a 37-member committee is just an interplay of forces. But in the final analysis, just like you said, it's going to be a dicey issue. I am still insisting. I will insist till tomorrow, if you like, put a gun on my head. It is the turn of the southern part in PDP to produce a candidate for 2023 elections.
Senator Ningi.
It doesn't have my pedigree in working with Nigerians all across the board. I was in the House, I was in the Senate. Look at my contribution. As motions, as bills, about Northern Nigeria, about Southern Nigeria. About Southern, what was my interest? When I sponsored a bill,
you want to be elected. I don't want to be elected.
No.
I'm not
But you can't dispute it.
What was my interest? When I sponsored a bill,
it's an elected guy. Must everybody be elected?
What was my interest when I sponsored a bill on offshore dichotomy? What was my interest? What was my interest when I sponsored a motion on Bakassi? These are all southern issues. Well, let me tell you, or like Kazim, my priority is how my party goes and who can win the election for us in 2020. It doesn't matter anybody.
The sentiments in the country don't support this one.
That is a country.
A plural country, a plural society.
How do you
must
define
balance
that?
all the authorities.
How do you define it? I don't come here to enter into argument.
No, that's the truth.
I come here to enter into very educated presentation of facts and figures.
Hold on, Kasim.
Let me just tell you.
So, I mean, in clear terms, if you look at what, do you see any sense in what Kasim is trying to say? The nation is divided.
As far as a PDP person is concerned, like myself, there is no sense in what he's saying. It's just sentiment, it's just emotions, probably because he's a southerner. I don't care who become the president of this country.
No, I care.
I supported Obasanjo.
Look at what we are going through now. I care.
Is it because Buhari is the president? That's why.
No.
Because there's
it's because he has brought us to this level.
Who brought him up? Who
he has brought us to this level.
He was elected nationwide.
Look at suffering.
He was elected nationwide.
So if somebody is elected, you have to show capacity.
We had president in the past. Now, northern descent. You can't say because Buhari performed.
I am not using that one.
No, you are using it.
No, what I'm telling you, after 8 years, presidency in the north, the PDP Constitution's Article 7 is written there. Rotation of presidency.
You don't know anything about
simple
party constitution.
You may not know because it's social
sentiment.
sentiment.
The PDP Constitution is not saying what it's saying.
No, it's
the
Article 7 is written in rotation.
Where was the Constitution? Okay. Where was the Constitution when Obasanjo spent 8 years? Jonathan spent 6 years, 14 years?
5 years.
Okay, 13 years.
Yeah, 13 years, yes.
Then why was the northern president? How many years?
Who succeeded Obasanjo?
Why were you?
No, who succeeded Obasanjo?
Why were you in 2011?
Who succeeded Obasanjo?
When people were saying to obey the zoning in the country, Jonathan should forgo his presidency in 2011.
No,
but 2011. I came here and I said I was also supporting Jonathan because as a sitting president then, after finishing his term of 2 years, it is his right to want to run. And I supported him. And my office was burnt just because of supporting him. Am I not another now?
All right, let's wrap up now because we're totally out of time. So that's the position of the party.
That's the position of the party.
Like it or not, that's the position.
No. It's interplay of forces will come in. There's no doubt about that.
All right.
There's no doubt.
But I'm not sure anybody can preclude anybody from running, even when the zoning comes out.
It has always happened. People run.
All right.
It has always happened.
I must sincerely thank both of you for the knowledge and experience that you have brought to bear tonight.
It was rounded up by a statement by the chairman. He said, at any rate, we can't stop anybody from purchasing funds.
All right, thank you so much.
You can't stop people because in 2019, only Northerners bought the fund. They didn't see sense in that period.
Kasim Afegua, Prince of Okula.
What was in 2009?
No,
what was in 1999?
1999.
Yes.
Gentlemen, we need to go now.
Obasanjo and Palaye.
Thank you so much. Always a pleasure because you always bring to bear history, experience, and your pedigree.
He is my friend, but you know.
But you don't look like friends tonight.
No, we're still friends.
But you disagree tonight, which is good anyway.
It's okay.
Thank you so much.
I will remember members of the party.
I appreciate it. It's good to disagree though. Thank you so much, Kasim Afegua.